They thought our outdated kinetic drives were a joke. They thought our solid hulls without energy shields made us fragile prey. They raided our freighters and mocked our warnings with superior plasma cannons. But 10 seconds ago, their flagship crumpled like foil against our unyielding bow, and they're about to remember a lesson we learned in the cradle of gravity. In the void, mass and velocity make gods of metal, and Isaac Newton collects his due in shattered empires. The vast chamber of the galactic accord hummed with the low drone of 100 translators, converting alien tongues into a common harmony. Ambassador Lyra Voss stood at the human podium, her posture straight as a laser sight, her uniform crisp under the artificial lights that mimicked a dozen different suns. The chamber was a colossal sphere, walls lined with tiered seats rising in concentric rings, each delegation section marked by holographic banners fluttering in simulated winds. The air carried scents from distant worlds, sharp ozone from the Viridians, earthy musk from the Korath hives. Lyra's hands rested lightly on the podium's edge, but inside, her mind raced to the latest incident report. Another human convoy hit, cargo stolen, lives lost, and here she was, about to plead for justice again. The Thraxian delegate, a hulking figure with chitinous plates covering his broad frame, rose to speak first. His mandibles clicked rhythmically, the sound amplified to the chamber's acoustics. Compound eyes gleamed like polished obsidian as he gestured with her segmented arms. The humans complained once more, he intoned, his voice a gravelly rumble translated into neutral tones. Raids on their vessels? Mere border skirmishes. Their ships are slow, their defenses laughable. No shields of plasma, no disruptor fields. They rely on, what? Metal shells and explosive propulsion? Primitive. If they cannot protect their own, perhaps they should not venture into claimed space. Laughter rippled through the assembly, a chorus of hisses, chitters, and deep bellows. The Viridian ambassador, a slender being with iridescent scales that shifted from green to blue, joined in, her tail flicking dismissively. Indeed, we have offered alliances, but they insist on independence. Let them learn the galaxy's ways the hard way. Lyra kept her expression neutral, her brown eyes steady. She had heard this before, 47 times this cycle alone, echoing the insults in the old records. Humans were newcomers, their single world a backwater anomaly in a dead zone of space. No empire, no fleet of conquerors, just persistent explorers with ships that burned chemical fuels and fired solid projectiles. Weak, they said, stupid, but Lyra knew better. Back on Earth, in the shadowed halls of the United Defense Command, the reports painted a different picture. Admiral Kai Tanaka paced the command deck of the orbital station Horizon Prime, his gray-streaked hair catching the glow from tactical screens. The station orbited Earth, a massive ring of reinforced titanium and composite alloys, its surface etched with sensor arrays and docking ports. Beyond the viewports, the blue marble of home rotated silently, oblivious to the threats gathering in the stars. Tanaka's face was lined with years of service, his uniform adorned with medals from the Unification Wars. He stopped before a holographic display showing the latest raid, a human freighter, the Orion's Belt, torn open by Thraxian boarding parties. Debris floated in the void, crates of minerals, fragments of hull plating, frozen bodies tumbling end over end. "Another one," he muttered, his voice low. Captain Alara Singh stood beside him, her dark hair tied back, her eyes fixed on the display. She commanded the Vanguard, one of Earth's newest cruisers, built in secret shipyards on Luna. "Sir, the Accord won't act. They're laughing at us down there." Tanaka nodded slowly. "I know, but orders are orders. We respond with diplomacy. For now." The words tasted bitter. For 5 years, since first contact, humans had played by the rules, sent ambassadors, shared tech, offered trade, and in return, raids, insults, borders violated. The Thraxians, with their empire spanning 12 systems, saw humans as easy marks. Their ships were marvels of energy manipulation, plasma shields that absorbed lasers, drives that bent space without exhaust plumes. What threat were human vessels, with their roaring engines and armored hulls? In the Accord chamber, Lyra began her address. "Esteemed delegates," she said calmly, her voice amplified without echo. "The raid on Orion's belt claimed 23 lives. We request sanctions against the Thraxian Dominion. This is not the first violation." The Thraxian delegate's mandibles twitched in amusement. "Sanctions? For what?" "Your ships intruded on our mining claims. We defended our interests. If your hulls were stronger, perhaps fewer would die." More laughter. Lyra's grip tightened imperceptibly. Behind her, her aide whispered through a secure link, "Admiral says hold, but the fleet's ready if they push." She nodded faintly. Patience. Always patience. Far from the chamber, in the cold expanse of the neutral zone, the Thraxian warship Gorfong prowled. Captain Zyrak lounged on a command throne, a massive seat carved from the bones of conquered species. His scaled skin, a deep crimson, reflected the red alert lights pulsing softly. For arms crossed over his armored chest, mandibles grinding in anticipation. The Gorfong was a predator's dream. Sleek black hull studded with plasma turrets, energy shields humming with barely contained power. Sensors swept the void, detecting the faint exhaust trail of a human vessel. The cargo hauler Endurance, laden with rare earths from a new colony. Primitives. Zyrak sneered to his bridge crew. The officers, all Thraxian warriors with similar chitinous builds, chittered agreement. Their drives leave signatures a hatchling could track. Prepare boarding teams. The Endurance appeared on the main viewer, a bulky rectangle of gray metal, engines flaring blue-white as it lumbered through space. No elegant curves, no glowing fields, just solid plates welded together, ports for kinetic launchers that fired mere slugs of metal. Zyrak activated communications. "Human vessel, this is the Gorfong. Power down and prepare to be boarded. Your cargo is now tribute to the Dominion." On the Endurance's bridge, Captain Marcus Hale stared at the incoming hail. His crew, a mix of veterans and young recruits, tense at their stations. The bridge was compact, walls lined with reinforced bulkheads, screens showing structural integrity at 100%. Hale, a broad-shouldered man with a scar across his cheek from an old accident, kept his voice steady. "Gorfong, this is neutral space. We are a civilian transport. Stand down." Laughter crackled through the speakers, Zyrak's voice booming. "Civilian? With those armored hulls? You think your metal boxes scare us? Our shields will vaporize your pathetic projectiles. Surrender or we demonstrate." Hale glanced at his tactical officer. "Shields up?" The officer shook his head. "No, sir. Humans don't use energy shields. But our hull, it's rated for impacts." Hale nodded. "Hail command. Tell them we're under attack. Request permission to engage." The response came swift. "Defend yourselves." Rules of engagement lifted. Hale's eyes hardened. "Helm. Plot intercept course. Engineering. Divert power to structural integrity fields." "We're not running." Zyrak watched the human ship turn toward them, engines flaring brighter. "They're charging us?" "Ramming speed." His crew erupted in laughter, mandibles clicking wildly. "Fools! Our shields will shatter them like eggshells." The Gorfang's plasma cannons charged, glowing vents along the hull pulsing with energy. They fired a warning shot, a bolt of superheated plasma streaking across the void. It grazed the Endurance's bow, scorching the paint but leaving the metal unscathed. Zyrak frowned. "Direct hit. Why no breach?" His sensor officer check readings. "Their hull, it's absorbing the heat. No energy signature, just dense alloy. Impossible." The Endurance accelerated, its massive frame hurtling forward. No evasive maneuvers. No return fire. Just unrelenting mass. Hale's voice came over the open channel, calm as still water. "Gorfong, last warning. Withdraw." Zyrak snarled. "Fire all batteries." Plasma lanced out, slamming into the human ship. Sparks flew, but the hull held, layers of composite armor dissipating the energy through thermal vents. The distance closed. 10 kilometers. 5. Zyrak's compound eyes widened. Evasive, but too late. The impact was cataclysmic. The Endurance's reinforced prow, built from nanomaterials forged in Earth's gravity wells, smashed into the Gorfang's midsection. Thraxian shields flared brilliantly, designed to repel energy weapons, not kinetic force. They buckled under Newton's unyielding law, mass times velocity. Metal screamed as a human hull pierced through, crumpling the alien ship's frame like tin. Bulkheads ruptured, air vented in white plumes. Zyrak was thrown from his throne, alarms blaring as systems failed. What? How? He gasped, blood trickling from a gash. On the Endurance, Hale braced as the ship shuddered but held. Integrity at 87%. Damage report. Minimal, sir. Their shields didn't account for ramming. We're through their hull. Hale opened the channel again. Gorfang, surrender your crew. We'll accept prisoners. Silence, then a weak response. You primitives, how? Hale's voice remained professional. We build for the real world. Your energy toys are fancy, but physics doesn't care about fancy. Word spread to the Accord like a shockwave. The Gorfang's distress beacon painted the picture. A mighty warship crippled by a primitive freighter in a ramming maneuver. Delegates whispered in their sections. Holographic displays replaying the footage smuggled from Thraxian logs. The human ship unscathed save for scorch paint, towing the wreck to a neutral port. Ambassador Lyravos stood again, her calm unbroken. The Endurance defended itself. We seek no war, but we will protect our own. The Thraxian delegate, his plates dull with shock, demanded explanations. Your ships, they should have shattered. Lyra smiled faintly. You assumed our lack of shields meant weakness. But we come from a world of storms, earthquakes, wars. Our hulls are forged to endure. Kinetic energy is our domain. Murmurs grew. Other species reevaluated. The Viridians, with their scale grace, exchanged glances. The Karaf, insectoid swarms in hive mind unity, clicked thoughtfully. Back on Horizon Prime, Admiral Tanaka reviewed the after-action report. The Endurance's design, layers of ablative armor, structural fields tuned for impact, had proven itself. They laughed at ramming, Singh said, a hint of satisfaction in her voice. Tanaka nodded. And now they know, but this is just the beginning. The Dominion won't take this lying down. Indeed, in the Thraxian homeworld's war council, deep beneath crimson skies, High Warlord Krez pounded his fist on the obsidian table. His mandibles frothed with rage, compound eyes blazing. The chamber was vast, walls adorned with trophies from conquered worlds. Skulls, banners, shattered hull fragments. Officers stood rigid, their chitin armor polished to a sheen. The humans humiliated us. Krez roared. A single freighter disables the Gorfang. We will crush them. Mobilize the fleet. The fleet assembled in the shadow of Thrax Prime, an armada of 50 warships, each bristling with plasma arrays and torpedo bays. Hulls painted in war colors, deep red with black markings symbolizing blood and void. Drives hummed as they warped toward human space. Krez commanded from the flagship Devastator, a behemoth twice the Gorfang's size. Shields reinforced after analyzing the ramming incident. They rely on brute force, he told his bridge crew. We'll engage at range. Vaporize them before they close. Earth sensors detected the incoming fleet days out. Alarms sounded across the system, from lunar bases to Martian outposts. Admiral Tanaka addressed the fleet from Horizon Prime. They come for revenge. But we've prepared. Remember, our strength isn't in flash. It's an endurance. The human fleet mobilized. 30 ships, smaller than Thraxian vessels, but built like fortresses. The Vanguard led, its hull etched with reinforcement struts, engines modified for burst acceleration. The battle unfolded in the asteroid belt beyond Jupiter. Thraxian ships emerged from warp, formations tight, plasma cannons charging. Krez hailed the humans. Surrender your worlds. Your ramming trick won't save you. Tanaka's response was calm. Leave now. We offer peace one last time. Krez laughed. Fire. Plasma storms lit the void, bolts slamming into human shields. No, wait. Humans had no shields. But the impact scorched without penetrating, hulls glowing but intact. Their armor, it's adapting. A Thraxian officer reported, panic creeping in. Human ships accelerated, not firing energy weapons, but launching swarms of kinetic missiles. Solid rods depleted uranium propelled at relativistic speeds. The first wave struck. Thraxian shields flared, absorbing the energy component, but the mass punched through. Hulls buckled, explosions ripping through compartments. Impossible, Kraz shouted. Evasive. But human ships closed, ramming into crippled foes. The vanguard plowed into a Thraxian cruiser, bow crumpling the alien midship without fracturing. Sparks flew as systems shorted. Thraxian crews scrambling in zero-G chaos. One by one, the Thraxian fleet faltered. Kraz Devastator took a direct ram from 2 human destroyers, hull integrity failing as metal twisted. How? He gasped, clinging to his console, a human voice over the channel. We remembered the basics. Your shields stop energy, but nothing stops momentum. The Devastator vented atmosphere, life pods ejecting into the void. The Accord chamber fell silent as reports flooded in. The Thraxian armada reduced to wreckage. Human losses minimal. Ambassador Lyra addressed the stunned delegates. We sought peace. They forced our hand. Let this be a lesson. Underestimate humanity at your peril. The Viridian ambassador rose, scales paling. We propose alliance talks. Nods rippled through the rings. In the aftermath, humanity's place shifted. No longer primitives. The sleeping giant awoke, its hulls unbroken, its resolve ironclad. The galaxy learned. In the Dand of Stars, politeness has limits, and the bill for arrogance comes due in kinetic fury. But the story didn't end there. Whispers of other empires stirred, curious or threatened. On Earth, in quiet labs, scientists refined the tech. Hulls denser, drives faster. Admiral Tanaka stood on Horizon Prime, watching the stars. They thought us weak, he said to Singh. Now they know better. She nodded. And if others test us? His eyes hardened. We'll remind them. Again. Years passed. The Accord evolved, humans gaining votes as colonies spread. But memories lingered. In Thraxian halls, tales of the unbreakable hulls became legend, a warning to hatchlings. Never mock the primitives. Elders clicked. Their metal bites back. One such tale reached a distant system, where the Seraph Collective plotted. Insectoid beings with compound eyes and iridescent wings. They ruled through swarm intelligence. Ships linked in neural nets. Their vessels were fragile beauties, held by force fields, weapons of focused light. The humans crushed the Thraxians with brute ramming. Their overmind pulsed. We will not make that mistake. Strike from afar. The Seraph fleet approached a human outpost on Epsilon Eridani, a mining colony on a rocky world. Domes glittered under dual suns, workers in suits extracting ores. The Seraph ships, 20 in number, shimmered like glass, fields rippling. Overmind hailed, Humans, your expansion ends. Submit or perish. Colony Governor Arya Voss, Lyra's sister, responded from the control center, a bunker deep in the rock. We claim this world peacefully. Withdraw. Laughter echoed through neural links, a buzzing chorus. Your hulls may endure rams, but our lances will pierce from light minutes away. They fired, beams of coherent light, slicing the void. But human defenses activated, not shields, but mirrors. Polished surfaces on orbital platforms reflected the beams, scattering them harmlessly. Countermeasures. Arya said calmly. Human fighters launched, small craft with armored noses, accelerating to ramming speeds. Seraph fields held against energy, but the impact shattered the delicate structures. Ships fractured, wings crumpling as mass overwhelmed. The overmind fragmented in panic. How? Our fields? A human pilot's voice. Field stoplight. Not us. The fleet scattered, survivors fleeing. The colony stood, hulls unscratched. News reached the Accord. More alliances formed. Humans shared knowledge, not weapons, but principles. Build for reality. They advised. Energy is fleeting. Matter endures. Yet challenges came. The Vorlax Empire, ancient and decaying, with ships of living metal that regenerated. Tentacled beings with bioluminescent skin, they saw humans as upstarts. Your kinetics are quaint. Their emperor pulsed from his throne world. Our hulls heal. They attacked a human convoy, tendrils latching, draining power. Captain Hale, now Admiral, commanded the response fleet. They regenerate, so we hit harder. Modified rams, ships with explosive-tipped prows, not to detonate but to embed and shatter from within. The first collision, human bow embedding in Vorlac's flesh metal. Regeneration started, but the embedded mass disrupted, tearing internals. Like a splinter in a wound, Hale noted. The Emperor's flagship ride, tendrils flailing. Yield, Hale demanded. Surrender followed. The galaxy watched. Decades on, humanity's saga unfolded. From underestimated newcomers to guardians. Stories told in alien tongues. The humans came polite, hulls plain. But when pushed, their metal broke empires. In council chambers, laughter turned to respect. On Earth, children learned. Patience first. Then, if needed, ramming speed. But in the shadows, a greater threat brewed. The Void Collective, entities of pure energy, scorned matter entirely. Primitives bound to flesh and metal, they whispered across subspace. Their ships were fields of force, untouchable by kinetics. The confrontation came at the galaxy's edge. Human explorers vanished, pulled into voids. Fleet assembled. Admiral Singh, successor to Tanaka, faced the anomaly, a swirling nexus of energy. They think us bound. Show them wrong. Human ships advanced, hulls now infused with hybrid tech, matter reinforced by captured fields. But core remained kinetic. They rammed the nexus, mass-disrupting energy patterns. The collective screamed in digital agony. How? Matter cannot. Singh's reply, matter defines reality. You forgot that. The nexus collapsed, entities dispersed. Peace followed, uneasy but real. Humanity stood tall, hulls unbroken. The sleeping giant awake, taught the stars. Underestimated peril. The bill always due. And in the void, Newton's laws reigned eternal. The end came not with fanfare, but reflection. Ambassador Lyra, retired, gazed at stars from Earth's Pacific coast. Waves crashed, echoing distant rams. We were polite, she whispered, until we weren't. Her granddaughter asked, will they forget? Lyra smiled. If they do, we'll remind them. The galaxy, wiser, agreed. Control 12, they thought our outdated kinetic drives were a joke. They thought our solid hulls, without energy shields, made us fragile prey. They raided our freighters and mocked our warnings with superior plasma cannons. But 10 seconds ago, their flagship crumpled like foil against our unyielding bow, and they are about to remember a lesson we learned in the cradle of gravity. In the void, mass and velocity make gods of metal, and Isaac Newton collects his due in shattered empires. The sensor arrays on the Thraxian border station pulsed with unexpected readings. Red warning lights flickered across the control panels, casting eerie shadows on the scale faces of the crew. Commander Vrax stood at the central console, his forearms manipulating holographic displays with practiced efficiency. His chitinous plates, a deep emerald green, shifted slightly as he leaned forward, compound eyes narrowing at the anomaly. The station was a fortified outpost, orbiting a gas giant in the outer reaches of Thraxian space, its hull reinforced with energy lattices that hummed softly in the background. Beyond the viewports, the void stretched endless, dotted with distant stars and the swirling clouds of the planet below. Sir, unidentified vessel approaching grid Sector 47, reported Lieutenant Crix, her mandibles clicking in confusion. She was young, her plates still glossy from recent molting, but her voice held the steady tone of a warrior trained in the Dominion's academies. Vrax checked the readings again. Energy signature, minimal. No plasma emissions. Propulsion, chemical? He almost laughed. Primitives. Hail them. Standard protocol. The communication channel opened with a faint static hiss. On the screen, a human face appeared, calm, unlined, with short cropped hair and eyes that betrayed no fear. Captain Elena Reyes of the human exploration vessel Pathfinder. This is Pathfinder. We are on a survey mission in neutral space, requesting passage through the sector. Vrax's mandibles twitched in amusement. The human ship was visible now, a bulky cylinder of gray metal, surface marked with angular welds and exhaust ports that trailed faint vapor. No elegant curves, no glowing shields. Just a solid mass plodding through the stars. Human vessel, Vrax replied, his voice a deep rumble translated into their crude language. You enter Thraxian territory. Power down and prepare for inspection. Your kind has been warned before. Rhea's expression remained neutral. Commander, our charts show this as open space. We carry no weapons, only scientific equipment. We seek peaceful transit. Crick snorted softly beside him. No weapons? Look at that hull. Thick as a rock. But what good is armor without shields? Vrax nodded. Humans were new to the galaxy, their single world a curiosity. Their tech was archaic, relying on explosive fuels and projectile arms. Easy prey for raids. Deny request, Vrax ordered. If they resist, demonstrate superiority. The station's plasma turrets charged, vents glowing blue. A warning shot lanced out, striking near the Pathfinder's flank. The human ship shuddered but held, scorch marks blackening the hull without breach. Rhea's voice came back, still calm. We will comply, but note this violation in our logs. The Pathfinder altered course, retreating slowly. Vrax watched it go, satisfaction in his eyes. Another human pushed back. Routine. Back on Earth. In the underground bunkers of United Command in Geneva, Admiral Marcus Hale reviewed the incident report. The room was stark, walls lined with data screens showing star maps and ship schematics. Hale was an older man, his face weathered from years in space, uniform pressed but eyes tired. Beside him stood Dr. Sophia Chun, lead engineer on hull development, her tablet displaying material stress analyses. They fired on us again, Hale said flatly. Pathfinder's armor held, but we're losing probes weakly. Chun nodded, her dark hair falling slightly as she pointed to a diagram. Our composites, tungsten carbide layers with nanotube reinforcements, dissipated the plasma heat, but they're getting bolder. The Accord ignores our complaints. Hale's fist clenched. For 3 years since first contact, humans had endured raids on mining outposts, stolen cargo. Diplomats laughed at it in council chambers. The Thraxians, with their vast empire and energy tech, saw humans as weaklings. No shields? No advanced drives? Laughable. We stay polite, Hale finally said, but prepare the fleet. If they push too far. Chin met his gaze. The new designs are ready. Hulls that don't break. In the Galactic Accord's Grand Hall, Ambassador Liam Torres addressed the assembly. The chamber was immense, a dome of transparent alloy overlooking a nebulous swirl. Seats arranged in spiraling tiers. Alien delegates filled them, Viridians with their slender, scaled forms, Koroth insects chittering in hives, Thraxians hulking in their armored sections. Torres, a composed man in his 40s, spoke evenly. The Thraxian raid on our outpost at Vega claimed 15 lives. We demand restitution. The Thraxian representative, High Envoy Zalf, rose. His plates were adorned with battle scars, mandibles wide in a grin. Raid? Your outposts encroached on our claims. Your ships are fragile. Perhaps build better. Laughter echoed. A Viridian added, Indeed, your lack of shields invites trouble. Torres kept calm. We build for endurance. We seek peace. But inside, frustration built. The vote failed 152 to 12. Earth alone. The incidents escalated. A human freighter, the Endurance, laden with colonists for Alpha Centauri, detected Thraxian pursuers. Captain Nadia Kovac gripped her command chair, the bridge vibrating with engine hum. The Endurance was a workhorse, hull thick with layered alloys, engines burning hot. 3 contacts, her tactical officer reported. Thraxian corvettes, closing fast. Kovac opened channels. Thraxian vessels, this is civilian transport. Stand down. Laughter responded. Captain Drac of the lead corvette appeared, compound eyes gleaming. Civilian? With that armor? Surrender cargo or we board. Kovac's voice stayed professional. We will defend ourselves. Drac chittered. With what? Kinetics? Our shields laugh at your slugs. Plasma fired, impacting the hull. Scorching, but no penetration. Kovac ordered, return fire. Railguns. Slugs launched, solid masses at hypersonic speeds. Thraxian shields flared, absorbing, but cracking under momentum. One corvette vented. Spinning. Drac's amusement faded. Evasive. They punched through. The humans pressed, endurance accelerating. Ramming vector. Kovac said calmly. Drac scoffed. Ramming? Your hull will shatter. But as distances closed, the Endurance's bow struck. Thraxian shields buckled, designed for energy, not mass. Metal crumpled, the corvette splitting. Drac's last transmission. Impossible the hull didn't break. Word reached Thrax Prime. Warlord Kraz slammed his arms on the council table, the room shaking. A freighter rams our warship? Mobilize. The fleet gathered. 100 ships, shields upgraded. They warped to Soul's Edge. Earth prepared. Admiral Hale on the flagship Resolve, a massive cruiser with hull like a fortress. They come for war. Show them endurance. The battle ignited near Saturn's rings. Thraxian plasma rained. Human hulls scorched but held, returning kinetic barges. Ships rammed, unyielding bows piercing. Kraz's flagship crumpled. How? He gasped. Hale's reply. We remembered Newton's laws. The bill is due. The accord reconvened. Humans victorious. Alliances formed. The galaxy learned. Human hulls don't break. Politeness ends. Triumph eternal.